everyone, I'm Frankie.
Who's the Dryad?
Yeah, I was just gonna show the Dryad off to talk about the steps that we take for animation. But, oh, I guess I could tell a little bit about myself. I joined the project like about 6 months ago, and yeah, just been working on all sorts of different cool animals and the pony. But I've done so much rigging on this project. it's a lot of fun. I'm usually
Frankie
not a rigger.
is our MVP. No, she'll go into even far greater detail than I could, but you know the complexity in rigging and animating is there, and it's really awesome that she helps us out with these, especially quadrupeds.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the steps we take are usually first the mesh, like just this guy right here. Like, we just get a 3D modeler to make it. And then I or someone else will put in these joints right here. And then after that, we create controls for these joints so that I can move them and also have the animation saved on the controls and not the joints. Because you don't really want animation on your joints because you can't zero out your joints. You can't, like, put them back to your starting position. But then after that, we paint the weights so it can actually move, like, the skeleton is actually connected to the mesh. And then I just animate. Like, I have a little animation here. It's a nice little walk that I made for it. And then after that, I will export the skeleton for Unity. And then the programmers will take over.
Oh, look at that. So cute. And that's even a more badass... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say. That's some, like, super cute. Like, in their nature is to be cute, so...
Yeah.
Are you saying a Dryad's not cute?
Dryads are cute,
Dryad is,
but,
like,
I mean,
yeah,
a bunny is pretty cute, too.
I mean, this Dryad could stroll on Canter lot and no one would think any different.
But one more thing I wanted to mention about the rig is that I actually, for limbs, we can do different types of rigging for it. Like, this one is set up with IK, so I can move this leg around and it will just bend on its own. I don't have to move every individual joint in the leg. And also I make it so that I can move the hip around so that, like, it's like, yeah, for legs. But also I have, let's see, what?
I don't think people know what IK is. You just kind of nonchalantly said IK.
Yeah, like, I was
just... explain that at all.
I have, let's see, yeah, I've been working on this guy right here, and he has both IK and FK, so I can show that off. But let's just set him back to normal. But for this guy, like, his back feet are IK. So I don't have to animate, like, I don't have to move every joint, but the front legs are actually FK. So if I want to, like, move it, I have to animate each joint, sort of thing. And this one isn't painted properly, like, you can tell, like, with, like, it bends kind of frinky. But yeah, that's just the difference between IK and FK, yeah. And it can save you a lot of work. Because if you have FK if I had FK on that Dryad, I'd have to counter animate every time I move the hips. So I'd have to move back the legs into certain positions, and it can look really bad if you don't spend a lot of time fixing it up. So it's better to have IK if you have, like, yeah, a quadruped sort of thing.
What do IK and FK stand for?
Actually, someone posted it, like, inverse that word. But
inverse kinematics?
Yeah.
What's FK?
I don't know. Bad animator, bad.
Alright.
But yeah. But,
Frankie, how much did you change the weights on the models itself? Because I did the rig and I'm pretty interested in it. How
What?
much you change them?
How much do I change the rig?
The rig itself and the weights I applied and stuff like that.
For some of them, I just had to just recreate the rig from scratch because we were having a lot of trouble with Blender going to Maya, and sometimes
Okay.
sometimes they were not set up quite right for animation. So sometimes I would be like, well, this would be a little bit better for animation. So, but for the most part, a few of them, I had been able to keep the rig and it had worked fine. Like the Timberwolf worked fine. I didn't have to switch
Okay.
that up. But
Yeah, and I mean it's really hard to break up that sort of process too. What what Frankie's talking about is what we used to do is we actually had somebody, Hey Pony, who was working on our rigging because at this point we didn't really have enough animation talent on the team. So Hey Pony knew how to rig, and he went ahead and rigged it. But the difficulties that we found are, it's just, if somebody's going to animate, they really kind of want to know intimately what moves what where. And if you're kind of getting a pre-rigged system, it's really hard to just, pick it up and go unless they're following really rigorous conventions. And we, as much as I'd like to say we're a AAA design studio, our animation pipeline probably would be scoffed at if
Became a human. She didn't know how to walk.
mm,
She didn't know where all the legs were, or joints or anything.
right. Someone asked a while back on the chat why I go to college for this. I studied in 3D, and that's just the program that I learned in. So it's just what I'm used to.
and Maya's better.
I had to.
But should I show off some cute animation? I can show them the bunny.
Yeah.
Have they seen the bunny?
Oh,
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
That would be a great example of
That was not me,
tattoo.
just for the record. Slider.
Let's do. I think it's runs pretty cute. Not gonna lie. It'll just take a second to pop up here. Ah, you're not supposed to show anymore. Doo-doo. Play. Oh, that seems like it's playing way faster. 1 second. Oh no. Ah. No. Technical difficulty.
You're just killing everybody by cuteness.
But I'll just go through
It's so fluffy! Really?
But this guy was a lot of fun, actually. But here, I'll show one more off with the bunny, and then I'll work on the turtle.
Is it turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Probably.
Turtle.
Oops. Let's take those off. That's just one of his idols. He'll clean his ear. All of them will be just walking in place, so that the programmers can move them however they want. I won't actually make something walk across the screen, like walk across this plane. And that can make it interesting for jumps. Like I have to like try and figure out a jump without moving it forward. Or sometimes I will animate it moving it forward and then just take out like that part of the animation. But
Frankie, you're awesome. This is great.
alright. Let's go with the turtle. So yeah, okay. For the turtle, I've already started on some of the joints. And what I've done is I just like laid them out and like named them all. And also like you can turn on the rotation axes. That's what the Y, X, and Z are. And that's important for knowing how to get the orientation right for the joints so that they move properly. So like with this, you always want the X going down through your bones. And then what I was taught is that you always want the Y to fight gravity in a way. Like if you had a back, you'd have the Y going out, not the chest, but like the back, you know, obviously. But
Wait, say it again? That sounds like a good tip. I didn't quite understand that.
For
with
why?
the Y fighting gravity?
yeah, like the reason I put the Y, like for his legs out in front of them, is because they will fight gravity going up, like bending up that way. And like if he had a back, like I can show you on this guy how I did it. Like for the back, you will have display. Like it'll have it. Oh dear. Oh, that's why. But for the back, see, I have it shooting out the back this way. Like it's not going towards the chest. It's going.
Oh.
So that's fighting gravity. And that's just how I learned how to rig.
Kind of pointed along the normals slightly.
Yeah, and then like Z will be pointing off to the side. Like I actually, like most of my Z's are, except for the tail. The tail is the opposite. Show off the tail.
So for like the arm joints, the Y was pointing like the elbow.
Forward, yeah. Like I can, yeah. Oops, come on.
Oh, alright, I see.
So yeah. It's always...
That's a cool way to think about it, because
yeah.
I know the importance of those, but I never really... I always just sort of made up a convention as I went along, like, she really isn't, like, good. Like, oh, everything's gonna pivot around the Y, because I'm crazy, like...
Right. But yeah, like, that's just always how, like, I've never had, like, I know it's important, but I don't know quite why. But yeah. So I'll go back to my turtle. So, do you want me to talk about anything else before I just work on the turtle, or?
I mean, if you wanted to talk about what you're gonna do on the turtle, like an overview now, or you can just talk about it while you're doing it, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, for the turtle, I'm just gonna start off with its rig, getting all the bones in place. And then after that, I will create the controls for it. That's like the little red circles you saw on the other guy. That's how I animate, is I use those little controls to move the bones around. And then I'll skin it, and hopefully I'll have time to show you guys some get some animation in. And if not, I have another session that I will have prepared. I'll have animation prepared. And I'll probably animate the pony for that one.
I will be right back.
But another reason why, like, I've laid out all the joints kind of like on the floor like this is just joint orientation. Just making sure everything's going down the X. It makes it so you don't have to worry about it. It's taking a little longer than I thought it would. I was hoping I could get to, like, skinny at least, but, just animation alone might take up to an hour or more on the turtle for the walk cycle. I mean, it depends. Sometimes I get the hang of it much quicker than, on different models. And sometimes I have, like, it takes me a while to get in the mode. But I'm kind of a slow animator. But they turn out pretty.
Not as slow as me. I tried to animate a Rainbow Dash like all last summer, and I got so far, and then I tried to do like the facial system, and I came up with this really cool idea to blend like 3D and 2D controls, but it was just so complicated. I gave up. Like I know how to animate, I'm just not very good at it.
Yeah, it takes time. And sometimes you get like, you just get into it and you can't get out and you're just like, it looks funky, but I don't know why. You could like stare at it just playing over and over. And that's when you need to just take a break and think about it.
How much time do you spend watching an animation that you partially finished as opposed to working on the next step of the animation?
Oh, I spend a lot of time watching my animations. A lot. Like,
Okay.
I think like a third maybe of my time spent on animation. Maybe that's a little much, but around that I spent just watching it and like looking at references and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Because I was curious, I know when I'm doing 2D animation that I spend a huge amount of the time just staring at things I partially finished over and over and over again, trying to see if there's anything even slightly off.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I do that.
Good to know.
I understand that. But yeah, actually, I am close to finishing the rig here. Now that no more error, no more weirdness has happened. But even though this mouth doesn't open, I'm going to still have a jaw joint, just so I can move that bottom, like, mesh around, so I can make it look like he's chewing something, or just, like, shattering teeth. Just gives me more animation, or more freedom, I guess. Wait, no.
Right now you can see she's making these circles. This is actually a really important stage of animating and it's basically it's called making the control system, or I guess most usually they use curves. These circles are made from a thing called a gate. How does it work? They're based on equations. So if you zoom into that curve, it's going to be infinitely smooth. It's like vector based in 3D. And the idea is that, Frankie, like she said earlier, she's not going to want to bend and animate all of these bones. These bones are going to be, in complicated directions. They're going to be rotating all strange. They may have inverse kinematics on them. So creating these controls really makes it a lot easier for her to manipulate larger areas at the same time.
Well, as an animator, one of the things I've noticed for, like, I just can't see it being possible at all to animate on the skeleton, because I'm gonna save real quick before I do this because I don't want it to completely ruin it. But if I could like select, like if I position this, you know, skeleton in a way that I want it to be, and then I'm all like, well, now I'm done with that animation. I'm gonna select all the hierarchy and like zero it out. But if you do that, all the bones jump to the like all the way, you know, to zero. But you can freeze transformations so that like zeroing out means that they are like in the starting positions where I'm putting it. Like this would be
perfect.
But yeah.
So the controls, how do they look different using those control circles from using the bones directly?
Well, like, kind of what Savannah said, like, if I create an IK system, which I can do really quick here, where is it, animation, I think. If I create this IK system, which will probably, oh no, it's actually bending nicely. I can actually create, like, a control that controls controls this IK system, so it's attached to that. But I also can create a control that rotates the toe. So.
Oh, okay. So it works with the skeleton as an attached system?
Yeah.
Yes, all the joints are connected and they just accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that reminds me, I should create toe controls. But yeah, you can really just like create circles like I'm doing right now. Like if that works, that's fine. They don't have to be like complicated because I kind of made I can show you. I kind of made the husky or the not the husky, the diamond dog controls kind of complicated.
Dude, that is those are fancy.
Yeah. It's just because I like having like being able to see like that's the shoulder like right off the bat, not having to like search through all these circles for a certain bone. But like, see, I've created the hip to look a certain way, and like these backs bones a certain way. I just always like to be able to see all of my controls. It just makes it easier for animation purposes, but you don't really have to create it this way. But it's just my thing. Someone asked me, like, what inspires me to animate, and what was the first thing I animated for, Legends of Equestria. The first thing I animated was a run, actually, for the pony. That was my very first animation for this project. And for what inspires me, I don't know. Animation, like, I can just lose myself in it. It's just one of the first things that I realized I really liked. Like, I can animate for an hour and not realize it's been an hour. Or, like, I'll put on a song and then I'll be all like, oh, that song ended 2 hours ago? I didn't realize. But yeah, I don't know. It's just always something that I just really enjoy doing. And also, like, I'm a huge fan of cartoons. That's the main reason I went to, like, I discovered My Little Pony, like, Generation 4. It's because I'm like, this animation's amazing.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Have you ever done 2D animation before?
Yeah, I have. I did that in college, but I'm not the greatest artist. Like, I have trouble with perspective and stuff. But it was a lot of fun. I do enjoy 2D animation, but I'm just not, the best artist. But my favorite cartoon, I'm just gonna say my favorite cartoon at the moment is Gravity Falls, because I frickin' love that show. I think that's amazing. And also Adventure Time. Adventure Time's amazing.
Love that show.
But, yeah.
Do you like waffles?
That's a relevant question.
Yes, I do. I do like waffles.
I am not going to read your question, Lyra. You're horrible.
What?
You feel horrible. Have you ever square danced?
No, I haven't. Waffles beats pancakes any
do we
day.
have any modeling or animation questions? It's all about pancakes, different colored waffles, square dancing, animating an animation that I'm not even going to mention.
What?
How long
Okay,
did you
muffins.
need to learn how to animate stuff?
How what? What was that?
How long did it
How long did it take?
to learn this animation process?
It's actually funny because when I first went to college, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do, you know, as a career. And I was just like there was a basics, 3D class, covered everything, like modeling to animation to texturing, everything. And it was in that class that I realized that I really liked animation, and my teacher was like, wow, you have a knack for this too. And it's funny because after that class I went right to senior projects. One, because I guess I was pretty good, but two, the main reason I actually went to senior projects was because the program there was not well done. There was actually no next class for me. So they're like, just come to senior projects. And I'm like, cool. I mean, they have a
Sounds
better
like
program
my
now.
major.
Huh?
Sounds like my major. Oh, so this class is gonna be what you feel like doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna have to make a sniff flower animation. Definitely.
Are there any other games that you've modeled for?
I actually modeled for a game. It was a project for school, and it was called Darn Little Devil. So I did some game animation there. And then there was another project that didn't really go through all the way, and it was called Fate Inc. That was another video game. That one I had to do motion capture stuff, which I hated. I hated working on motion capture stuff, because basically it was just me fixing the program's mistakes, which is not fun. But those are. I did actually create a few of my own games, which I animated for, but they were tiny school projects. But that I guess this is the first big game I've been a part of. What bunny animation do you guys want to see? I can pull that up.
All of them.
I'll pull up the walk.
Alright, well, we're coming up on 30 seconds left.
Oh, no.